All right. So again, welcome to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. Again, we appreciate you being with us this fantastic, glorious, incredible morning. It is May the 2nd. It is super nice out. It's just out. It's super nice. It's another great day to live in Florida. I've got something special to do. A good friend of mine, one of my dearest friends, is getting had a piece of music commissioned in his honor, and I can't. And it's debuting tonight, so I'm going to go listen to it. It's being played by a concert band that he directs. So I don't think he's directing it, but they rehearsed it, and I'm looking forward to it. They're going to be playing it in the same auditorium that I, cut my first college teeth in, and it's just going to be just this flood of crashing of worlds together again. It'll be wonderful. I'm looking forward to it. All right. So often when we do these programs here, right now, and we are doing our best to do this live on Spreaker. So if you want to go back to the Spreaker app, or you want to go, if you want to look for the morning report, uh, we're trying again to do this live on Spreaker at the same time. It helps my workflow. It helps my workflow. Helps my workflow. We're going to try to get these done at the same time. Wish us luck. And in any case, we do so much making sure people are aware of this and aware of that, and that it gets it can get very, very sad and very, very negative. And you think that what's the use? After a while, you're like, what's the use, right? What's the use? Why do we even try? Why are we bothering? You move the microphone, the headphones away from the microphone. That might work better, and it seems to. Um, why are we even trying, right? Why are we going through all this? Because you know what? Constant heat and constant pressure will build diamonds. Constant heat and constant pressure will build diamonds. There's no other way to do it. And now we are in a position that we must have constant heat and constant pressure. It's been great because it kind of works both ways. We are feeling that constant heat and constant pressure, and the diamond is building inside of us. We're becoming that diamond. And if we push back against the culture consistently with enough energy, we will form a diamond. For instance, much was made out of the failure of the pro-life amendment in Kansas last year, and even conservatives have warned about the failure of many other pro-life initiatives that have been on the state ballots, and there have been some disappointments with a Democrat governor in office, Laura Kelly. It appeared as if other pro-lifers would experience more heartbreak when she vetoed a Born Alive Protection Act a few weeks ago, among other pro-life bills. Last week, however, the state legislature overrode her veto overwhelmingly by a huge margin. In order to override a veto, two-thirds of legislators must vote to do so. Liberty Counsel highlighted the pro-life victory in a press release, noting that the House, this is in Kansas, voted 87 to 37, and the Senate voted 31 to 9 in the override. The Born Alive Infant Protection Act will thus go into effect on July 1st. 87 to 37 and 31 to 9. The Born Alive Infant Protection Act will thus go into effect on July 1st in Kansas. Now, it is kind of amazing that what I'm going to tell you is somehow controversial. The bill requires emergency care by any health care provider present for infants born alive after a failed abortion. The bill requires medical providers to treat babies born alive after a failed abortion with the same level of care as they would any other newborn of the same gestational age. Now, I'm really not sure how often this happens, but if it happens once, yeah. If somehow you meant to kill the child and he was in there doing his best, his best Bruce Lee, and then he gets born, you have to treat them. And you may have to treat them for the injuries that you caused. The bill also requires an annual report to be submitted to the Secretary of Health and Environment. States are not required to report their abortion stats, and few report abortions resulting in live births because they don't want that information to get out. So it's not entirely known how many babies are born alive from abortions. I don't know. My spidey sense tells me not many, but it doesn't matter. Reports from just 7 states found that 34 babies were born alive between 2020 and 2022 from abortion attempts, as summarized by lifenews.com. The Centers for Disease Control also found that 143 babies were born alive from abortion attempts in 8 states between 2003 and 2014. So it doesn't happen that often. Testimony from nurses also speaks to babies born alive, with some being left to die from exposure, and even some being killed after they were born. Murdered. These people were murdered. This testimony flies in the face of the criticism from pro-abortion American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists and Gynecologists, which claim that the concept of babies being born alive from a failed abortion and then left to die is a fabricated political concept. So, Willie's question is, if it is, then why are you fighting it so much? If it never, this is like what? This is like critical race theory. If it doesn't happen and you're like, I don't, what are y'all doing? Then why are you fighting it so much? Then why are you pushing back? It's like the atheists who fight back against Christians. Why? If God doesn't exist to you, then why do you care that God is real to me? Why are you so angry? If it doesn't happen, then why would you vote against that time that it does? That one time in a million that it does. That okay, if it happens once in a million times, then why wouldn't you want the doctor to take care of the baby? Why would you vote against that? If indeed you believe it doesn't happen. My gut is that you know damn well it happens. You know it happens. You happens a lot more than you're letting on. And what we also find with the left is that they never, ever, never, ever give back an inch. They fight for every single piece of territory, every hill they fight for, and they defend. They defend to to the insane ridiculousness. That's what they do. In vetoing the bill, the governor has similarly claimed that the bill is misleading and unnecessary. She also noted that the federal law already protects newborns, and the procedure being described in this bill doesn't exist in Kansas in the era of modern medicine. Okay, then not a problem. And claimed that the intent of the bill is to interfere in medical decisions that should remain between doctors and patients. Not at all. Didn't say that at all. Kelly was referring to the Born Alive Infants Protection Act signed into law in 2002, which is mostly symbolic, since it lacks any enforcement. And laws without, if you break this law, if it doesn't have the paragraph that says, if you break this law, don't, it's not a law, it's just a statement. The editorial board of Kansas City put forth sensationalized opposition to the bill after the legislature overrode the veto with the editorial, Kansas born alive abortions is unnecessary, but that doesn't mean it's harmless. In it, the editors equated abortion with protecting babies born alive from failed abortions by claiming what lawmakers have done in clear opposition to the will of people of Kansas as an expression of last year's landslide vote to preserve abortion rights in the Kansas Constitution, is passed a law that will subject abortion providers in Kansas to additional criminal penalties if they do not provide care to infants, quote, born alive, end quote, in an abortion. This is the madness. These people are saying, first of all, this never happens. Okay. Then you won't mind if the 1 in a million times that it does happen, that we kind of make the doctors and the nurses and the people there take care of the child. Because if according to you, it never happens. It's a made up political concept. It never happens. So what's the big deal? And whatever the enforcement part is never going to happen. So what's the big deal? And though we do see this new Kansas law as unnecessary, that doesn't mean it is in no way harm. There's no harm to it, as women could be forced to endure the doctor's forced to perform life-saving measures in cases of fear, malformation, and incompatibility with life. But you said it didn't happen, and the only way that you get they have to do these life-saving measures of malformation and incompatibility with life. But I don't even know what that means, and neither do they, is because they cause damage to this human being. They cause damage. Such bills have been popping up around the country with virtually all Democratic governors vetoing legislation when it comes across their desk. Governor Andy Bashar, Democrat from Kentucky, allowed such a bill to become law without his signature. He just was hands off. Legislation at the federal level has passed the House, but of course has failed to pass the Senate. Republicans have supermajorities in Kansas legislature, certainly making an interesting situation, with Kelly having vetoed a record 15 bills sent to her desk. And the Republican legislature said, okay, whatever, we'll just override it. The people have spoken. All right. It is absolutely, these things are absolutely fantastically amazing. Absolutely fantastically amazing. Again, folks, heat and pressure. I know here in the state of Florida, we have a 6-week heartbeat bill. There was some pushback against it, but it is now law. And I'm happy about it. You know, there was a comment here on the this is sort of macabre, and if you're sensitive, you might want to just say thanks for coming and click out here. But the comment says, when I doubt, follow the money. Planned Parenthood sells body parts of the babies they abort, and they make a lot of money from these sales. We have found that it is not. It is not just some sort of weird conspiracy theory. We found that that's the truth. Quote, I can get a Lamborghini now, was a quote from Planned Parenthood representative when she was drooling about the money that she would make in commission from baby part sales. One whistleblower in the Dallas facility told investigators that the facility clears $100,000 to $120,000 a month on baby parts sales alone. on October 13th, 2015, Planned Parenthood announced that they would no longer be accepting payments for, quote, tissue samples slash baby parts. That policy lasted just a few months. There are nearly 100 Planned Parenthood facilities of similar size across the country, using the low number 120 million to Planned Parenthood bottom line per year. For that amount of money, the Democrat politicians and left wing journalists would say anything to keep the chop shop open for that kind of money. That is amazing to me. And this commenter is absolutely positively correct. It's about the money because it doesn't make any sense otherwise. It doesn't make any sense otherwise, does it? All right. Thank you ever so much for tuning in. Remember, we are also live, and we're going to try to do this on a more regular basis. To be live on Spreaker at the same time. We may even, that depends on you and how much you want to help, change we record the video on Zoom, to change that to where we can actually have you be on Zoom with us. But that will require a little capital investment. You are welcome to. There is a donate button on the website, fightbackmedia.com website, fightbackmedia.com website, that if you so choose, I'm not asking you to. I'm a long away from that. Oh, please. Oh, please. Oh, please. If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. In any case, we got to get out of here and make room for somebody else because I need a nap before I go to the concert today. So until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody. And for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.